Dialectical behavior therapy. By the way, I just like to share this, that we've had some clients over the years rename it to diabolical behavior therapy, right? But they do really love it. It's just, they're being affectionately irreverent with it. So DBT is based on a dialectical philosophy. Now, dialectics is a whole world philosophy that people spend a lifetime studying. And so what I've really tried to do for us, for me, first of all, but for us as therapists, is really to boil it down to the essentials of what we need to know and how is it going to be helpful for our clinical work. And so essentially, thinking dialectically is the opposite of the black and white thinking. It's moving away from those polarities, from the dichotomous thinking, and walking the middle path, actually, is how Alec Miller puts it. Alec Miller wrote the book DBT for Suicidal Adolescents. And I don't think in his work with teens, with youth, I don't think he even uses the word dialectics. He talks about walking the middle path. And so it's really about finding a more balanced way of thinking about things. Another dialectical dilemma that we might experience, though, is our goals for our client versus their goals for themselves, right? We never run into this problem at all, right? The client who always comes to my mind around this is the client who just wanted to drink socially. So she was already doing that, and it wasn't working. So my goal for her was, I really thought she needed a period of abstinence so that we could see what things looked like when she wasn't complicating her life with the alcohol. Drinking socially, she was already doing that. She'd go out for dinner, she'd have a couple of glasses of wine, it was all good, with friends, and then she'd come home and she'd polish off a bottle by herself. That's where the problem was happening. And she could not do that on the days that she wasn't going out for dinner and having those glasses of wine. It wasn't a problem then. So what I did here, and this is kind of something typically that I would do, is, again, I don't want to get stuck in that power struggle, because she was telling me it's not my goal to stop drinking. I don't want to stop drinking. I like drinking. I like having a couple of glasses of wine with friends. So I wasn't going to get anywhere if I tried to convince her of my goal is the right goal. So we worked on her goal. And each time she came back and she had engaged in her typical behavior, I would help her see the problems that were coming from this. We'd look at the negatives. She was struggling to get into work. She'd be hungover. The feelings about herself, the guilt and the shame. So we would talk about those negatives that were happening each time this happened. And as we kept doing that, and as we also developed our rapport, gradually over time, she was able to see that this wasn't working, and that helped her to change her goal.